at the end of the day, we do what we do for the people.
The People's Podcast. What's up, good people? This is your boy DJ Busby.
And it's your boy JKD.
And this is the People's Podcast. And today, y'all, we have not only the first interview, but a legendary interview that we're about to have with a brother that, you know, it's crazy how we met. And we'll get into that story later. People, we have none other than my brother. You see him dancing right here. He goes by the name Kevin Crown.
Yo, what's up, man?
Good, bro. What's going on with you?
I'm here, man. Just, you know, in my element, you know.
You want to know why I love technology and what we've developed over these past couple of years? It looks like he's sitting here with us right now.
Fact.
That's great. Yeah. Just be careful, don't bounce JKD with it. Yeah. But people, this is not your average conversation today. This is going to be one that a lot of you need to pay attention to. This is the People's Podcast, and we wanted to bring the best of the best to, you know, tell us their story, how they got to where they are, and so forth. So, as with that being said, let's get into it. My brother Kevin Crown, thank you for joining us today, first and foremost.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Now, again, we built a crazy bond over the last 2 years, which we'll get into later. But getting into the start of this interview, I want to bring things back to the start of your career. I know a lot of people, you know, they see the likes, they see the followers, they see the you on the big stage, but they don't know where things started and what it took to get you where you are today. So with that being said, let's get things started. Say, you know, where did Kevin Crown begin his journey?
All right, so for those who know, I've been DJing since I'm 12 years old. In my parents' basement when I was 12 years old, growing up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, big up to everybody in New York City. I had aspirations of actually playing basketball, but because of where I grew up, it's very dangerous outside. My mother was really not trying to have me play outside like that, especially in the park. So I didn't have any brothers, you know, 3 sisters running around, my mother and father working all day to provide for us. You know, when, you know, TV got boring, you know, video games, you know, I did what I had to do with them. I had music, and I was fascinated with how music was mixed. And I realized at a very young age, coming from the cassette age, you know, if I got my own records, I could make my own mixtapes. And that's really how it started. So, you know, I'm self-taught. I taught myself the ins and outs of a mixer, why there was a headphone jack, the crossfader. And, you know, it wasn't good, you know, but, you know, as anything, you know, you develop it over time, it gets amazing. And that's just what I did. 15, you know, I was a senior in high school and getting ready to go to college, and I started playing out. I believe that summer was the first time I actually played outside of my house. And I really like, you know, the being in front of a crowd and doing my thing. And it just went from there. 16, I was in a college radio station, was putting out my first mixtapes, started doing some college gigs. And then being in college, you know, my sound, King Crown, you know, which I'm still a member to this day. You know, we were just up and down the college circuit. So we wasn't lit in the clubs at all. We would go to the clubs and party, and a lot of people didn't even know I was a DJ. But in the college circuit, you know, we was tearing up and down the East Coast. And, you know, we started keeping our own events, and, you know, everything just grew and it grew and it grew. We started getting noticed, and I really got noticed in the club circuit for dancing. So it's crazy. A lot of people knew me as a dancer first, had no idea that I could DJ. So when they noticed that I was DJing, everybody thought that I started DJing after I danced, which is actually not true. I was DJing since I was 12. So by the time I got popular as a DJ, as a dancer, I was already like 6-7 years in as a DJ. So that's how it basically started for me. And I just kept going and going and going and going. It's one thing about me. I'm very stubborn. I'm very passionate, and I don't give up. And so many years later, here I am.
Interesting. And, you brought up something that is of importance as well. You mentioned that your lifestyle or where you lived was a factor in the decisions that you made or your parents made for you.
Yeah.
Again, where you live is not the safest of places. And following your career, one of the most profound things I heard about your journey is your situation where you got stabbed.
Oh, yeah.
And what that did for your personal desires, your personal passion, and what you wanted to do for the career. So talk to the people a little bit about that dark moment in your life.
So it's weird, right? My sound system name, it was King Crown 2010. Right. We gave that. We wasn't thinking about the year 2010 when we came up with this name. The reality of the situation was there was another sound system with the same name called King Crown. And, we was like, yo, what's up? Y'all want to clash for the name? We got dubs, we got this. And we was like, yo, to differentiate us from that other King Crown, let's add something to our name. So we call ourselves KCI, King Crown International. Yeah. And then we was like, yo, well, we ain't been nowhere, so we're not really international. So then, we just came out with, we started playing around with names, and we just said King Crown 2010. And we said, yo, that shit sound dope. And, we stuck with that. We put it in dubs. We got drops. We had 2010 on our clothes. It was crazy, man. And, I got stabbed April 20th, 2010. Worst year of my life.
Crazy. You remember the date of that? That's crazy.
Yeah, April 20th, 2010. Yeah. I got stabbed. Just so happens I did a gig. Yeah. At the time I was using my DJ equipment a lot. And I did a gig. It was a Sunday gig. And I brought out my turntables, and I had them in my truck. Parked my truck outside of my building I was living in at the time, and somebody broke into the truck and took my DJ equipment. This DJ equipment was very special to me because it was custom. It was custom made, and me and my father actually worked on it together. And I call myself trying to be an investigator, asking around, and I actually found out who took it. It was a crackhead. I know his name and everything. And I was paying people. I was like, yo, if you see him, call me. And I called the cops, and I said, I know who did it. And it was like, well, if you see him, call us. So I tracked down the guy the next day. I was very civil. I wasn't on no kind of violence tip. And I approached him, and we was in the elevator, and I said, yo, listen, I would just want my stuff back. I don't want no problems. I don't want to do nothing to you. Walking outside, I don't know if he felt afraid, but I was in front of him walking out the door of the building. That corridor where you ring the bell? Yeah. It was me, my boy who was outside, then my next boy who was in the corridor with us. Some said, Kevin, turn around. I turned around, and I saw the guy swinging at me. Now, I'm into martial arts, and my reaction was to just block what I thought was a punch. I felt a sharp pain in my left arm, and I looked in his hand. It was a big knife. It was the kitchen knife set, the biggest knife in the set. Wow. He had that like Jason style with it pointed down, trying to stab me. So, the adrenaline rushed, and, I did what, people see in the movies. I took off my jacket, and I wrapped my arm with my leather jacket. And one, I was trying to kind of contain the bleeding. Two, I was trying to protect myself from the knife. So I pushed him into my boy. My boy grabs him. I gave him like 3 kicks to his hand. I found out later I actually broke his finger. The knife fell on the floor. I kicked the knife outside. And he was a crackhead, so he had like crackhead strength. Yeah. And every time I hit him, I could talk about it now. It's kind of funny. Every time I hit him, something dropped out of his pocket. I hit him. Some drugs dropped out of his pocket. He's like a pinata. Right. I hit him. Some crack dropped out. I hit him again. Some barber clippers dropped out. I don't know why he had clippers in his pocket, but the clippers dropped out his pocket, and I was just like, yo, stay down, stay down, stay down. And eventually, we subdued the guy. I called the cops, ambulance came, and that's when the pain happened. It was extremely painful when the adrenaline, went down, and then, my girlfriend was called, and, my family was called. And, at the time I felt kind of good that I got the guy, I felt kind of good that he was in police custody. And then, I noticed that there was something wrong with my thumb and my fingers. I couldn't move it. And I told the doctor, and he said, yeah, you got nerve damage. You have to have surgery. I said, oh, shit. I didn't think nothing about it. Next day I had surgery, and I was in a cast for a month. Painkillers, all that, but I'm in a cast, restricted. It was a month later that they took off my cast, and for whatever reason, I actually filmed this. I have it, the video still in my phone to this day. That day, they're wrapping up my arm. First of all, my arm is it's mad skinny. There's no muscle tone. I can't straighten it out. And he told me, yo, move your hand. And I couldn't move my hand. I couldn't move my fingers. I couldn't move my thumb. And I started crying like a baby. And, it was in that reality that I realized I was disabled. And, the doctor, he gave me the whole spiel, don't drink, don't smoke. Because what happened is my radial nerve was severed at my elbow. And the radial nerve, what the radial nerve does, the radial nerve controls the wrist movement, it controls your thumb movement, and it controls the opening of your 4 other fingers. Right? So I could close my fingers, but I couldn't open them. I couldn't use my wrist, I couldn't use my thumb. So basically my hand was useless. Wow. And he told me it would grow back very minutely every single day, but he didn't know how it was going to heal.
But people imagine like this is a DJ and this is one of your hands that's the doctor is telling you may not be able to use in the future. That's crazy.
It's my dominant hand too. My left hand. I'm left-handed. Oh, so I couldn't write. It was devastating. Yeah. To say the least. But I don't regret it happening. The world and the experiences have a way of humbling you. And I don't know if I was arrogant, but I definitely got humbled because at the time, I was touring. I've been popular since I'm 16. Yeah. So I'm popular. Everywhere I go, I'm keeping parties. I'm popular. At this point, I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm, doing what I'm gonna do. I'm on radio, and that experience that humbled it out of me. And that I think that's the reason why I got back into my martial arts after taking so much time off. And that year, every day, I would wake up and try to move my thumb. And, I would tell my brain, thumb move, and the thumb wouldn't move. And I remember on my birthday, October 27, 2010, I said, thumb, move. And my thumb moved a little bit. I said, oh, shit. Mm-hmm. And that day, I went back to my Taekwondo school. And, I signed back up. They said, okay, you can start tomorrow. I said, nah, I'm starting today. And I went back at 6:45. Class started at 7:15. And I went every day for 7 months, 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. I was a blue belt coming back. I got my black belt. I got the use of my hand back. It's not 100%. It'll never be 100%. So for anybody who's wondering, I have nerve damage for the rest of my life on my left arm. I have restrictions that just gonna be with me for life. I went on to start to teach Taekwondo. I started competing. I have a couple of grand championships under my belt. Today, I'm a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. It's I've done so much in the past. That's 12 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be 12 years in April. That it's just amazing. It's literally like one of those movies that you see on TV. I'm one of the lucky ones, and that really hurt. It really humbled me, and it's funny. Sorry to talk so much, but it's funny because after I started doing my martial arts, I got back into working out. Every now and again, I would post a picture of myself with maybe my shirt off, and people would say, "Oh, he's such a show off," and I'm like, "Yo, I'm not showing off. This is a testimony of what can be done if you don't give up." A lot of people didn't know, that what happened to me, because I don't dwell on it. It's not something, I'm going to say every time, I get a chance. Yeah, I was disabled, but I'm not anymore. So people would just see, yo, 6-pack, yo, he got his shirt off. He's a show off. Yeah. And it's, it's not me really showing off. It's me like, yo, guys, in the year 2010, up until 2011, I was kind of disabled, and look where I'm at now. Right. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm definitely blessed that way to have gone through that and overcame that. So yeah, man.
Crazy story, bro, and it's one that, as you said, it's a testament to saying don't give up.
Yeah,
keep pushing, yeah. And even if life throws you that, throws you into the left field like that, you never know. Just keep telling your thumb move.
And then in 2013, I severed a tendon in this hand.
Oh, wow.
And I have permanent tendon damage in my middle finger on my right hand, where it can't bend all the way. It's limited motion. Wow. So yeah, so I have nerve damage on this side, have tendon damage on this side for the rest of my life. Yeah. See, and as I'm saying that, the little somebody sprinkling some. I have issues in both my limbs.
Wow.
So it's like every so often I have to go through something. In 2018, I was in a car accident and had surgery on my knee.
God damn.
And I had to overcome that. So in the past 12 years, I've gone under the knife 3 times. And, I haven't let it stop me. I went on to, go to the Scratch Academy to learn how to scratch, but it gets frustrating at times because, you have different issues with your left and your right. Yeah. So it's kind of like you got to learn how to do things on one side differently from the other side. DJs who actually scratch, you guys know what I'm talking about when it comes to transforming and flaring and, all the cool stuff that we do. For me to do it, I have to go a little bit further because of my issues, but I never let it stop me. And I never had it as an excuse. I went through the process and I'm still going through the process. I'm not finished, so yeah.
Nice. Wicked.
One thing I wanted to take a step back on with what you said was you were speaking about martial arts and you just recently got a 4th degree black belt.
Yeah, man.
Congrats on that, first of all.
Thank
but
you, man.
I want you to talk about, going through that process and not only what that's done for you as a person, how it's helped what you do in terms of DJing, your family life, etc., your whole being. How did that project help you?
Well, I wanted to do martial arts since I was young, but my mother and father couldn't afford the classes. So you would watch movies and do what you see and emulate what you see. But it wasn't until about 14, they offered it in my school, and I took a couple of semesters for that. And then, the mayor at the time cut all the programs and all the funding for extracurricular activities in school got cut. Yeah. So the martial arts program got cut. So you know, when I started working, and I've been working since I'm 14, I started paying for my own classes. You know, I took it serious and I was good, but it wasn't until I got stabbed and I went back, I realized how important self-defense is. And, I had a different mindset because, I would wake up sometimes and, have nightmares like, what if I didn't turn around?
Right.
Or what if I didn't block that knife?
Yeah.
What if it went in my head? What if it went in my neck? What if it went in my chest?
Your heart,
Why
yeah.
did I block?
Right.
Because I didn't see the knife. I saw his hand. Why did I block the way I did? So I would cringe and I would be scared. And the martial arts for me, what it did, it was like it was like how they say it's a balance. It's the yin and yang. I actually have the yin and yang tattooed on my elbow. It's a balance because in the party world, I was, NBCK, Natural Born Club Killer, Kevin Crown. In the school, for many, many years, they didn't know who I was. Now they do, now they know, I'm a world touring DJ. Now they know it, social media, you can't hide that from anybody. Yeah. And then, a lot of the parents, I was teaching their kids and they were like, oh, that's Kevin, so, but before that, when I was coming up, I was just regular old Kevin, I would call, the instructors master, I would bow. It was very humbling. It was very humbling. You go out in the world and you're performing in front of 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people. Then you're going into the dojang and you're taking off your shoes and you're bowing and, you're sweating and, it's a very, very slow process. This is not like a movie where, you get beat up, then you do some training and 2 hours later, you're a martial arts master. Yeah. It's not like that. It's not like that. And, being able to endure that day after day, month after month, year after year, it kind of gave me the perseverance to do that with my DJ career. Because like you said, everybody sees the numbers and everybody sees you when they see you. Yeah. And everybody feels like you just started DJing when they see you. They feel like, oh yeah, Kevin Crown just came out of nowhere. They don't know. No, I've probably been playing music longer than your favorite DJ, and nobody sees that grind. Yeah. Nobody, I don't even think they care until it's moment like these where you get to reflect. Oh, when you're dead, yeah.
Right. That's the worst
part. That's when everybody wants to look into, your history. When it's come to an end. That's not the case all the time, which I'm also thankful for. But the martial arts, it's definitely my balance. It's my perseverance. It also a lot of self-control when it comes to the negative things that could happen and the adversity you can get and the political part of this, the hate, which I'll say that's just gonna come. If you're good, you're gonna get hated on. All right. So don't feel like, if you're getting hated on, you're doing something right. Yeah. And I think me at a time, I was certified deadly when it came to like fighting because I did it every day. I did it so much. And it wasn't until, I started touring and then I had my knee surgery and then I couldn't do some of the things that I was doing before that I realized how deadly I was at fighting. Yeah. I'm not a slouch now, but, I'm on Twitch every day. I DJ so much. If I put that time in the past 2 years and just kept doing martial arts, Jesus Christ, it's always like a fight. Damn, I want to train. Damn, I want to work out. But damn, I want to go on Twitch. I want to tweak this overlay. I want to do this. I want to do this. It's like those different parts of my life pulling at me. And then it's like, like I was at a show and a girl was like, yo, Kevin Crown MAGA down and get MAGA. Him get maga. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go in the gym and work out, man. I gotta fucking pump some weights. I gotta, but yeah, man, the martial arts is like as much as I love DJing, that's also like my other love. I won't even call it my second love.
Yeah.
That's my other love. And you know, if I wish I had more time. And so I just wish I had more time, man.
But it shows like with your character, it shows like how you approach things, that martial arts has shaped who Kevin Crown is as a man, you know?
Yes.
And everything you do, like, you know, even with just working with you with graphics, you were just like, you know, like, I need to get this done. I need to do this for my people. And it just shows that what you learn in martial arts and you're applying it into real life, it just shapes you as who you are as a person.
Yeah, it a lot of the things first of all, Taekwondo, tradition of Taekwondo is not just like fighting. Right. That's not what it is. This is not MMA.
Right.
You know,
right.
This ain't blood sport. There's a lot of different aspects to martial arts. It's an art.
Right.
You know, there is a fighting aspect of it without question. There's strikes, there's pain, there's a lot of there's a mindset, which is the most important thing. But definitely respect, being a good person, and then passing on knowledge. I've been told so many times that, yo, Kevin, you give too much. You tell these DJs too much. And I'm like, fuck you talking about? I'm like, yeah. This is the mentality which not only DJs, which the powers that be, they use to control people. It's called divide and conquer.
Right.
All right. So if I had the mentality that I shouldn't share nothing with nobody, you know what happened? Karma would happen, and nobody would share anything with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be able to build nobody. Nobody would build me up, and it'd just be a dog-eat-dog world. And the powers that be, whoever they are, you know, would just keep us there. My master, my grandmaster, he said something that really stuck with me. He said, champions are selfish. Masters create champions. And he said, listen,
powerful.
When you are training and you are trying to get that championship, you can't concentrate on nobody else. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm training, like I got a tournament coming up, I can't worry about, yo, you need to do this with your kick, and you need to do this, you need to do this. I got to worry about myself. Right. You know what I'm saying? But once I'm past that and I get to a certain plane or place, then I could say, yo, my cup has filled. Now I could pour something into somebody else's cup. Right. And, you know, I think about that. And as far as my DJing and my music, I always tell people, I personally don't have nothing to prove when it comes to music. And DJs, you know, want to admit it or not, we all go through the stage where we want to prove something. You know, we want to prove to people, listen, I am a DJ. I want to prove to you I'm a DJ. Right. I'm a real DJ. I'm a good DJ. Right. So you want to prove that, right? After you prove that, you want to prove it to yourself, because it's all about when you go to sleep and wake up, when all the lights is done, when you take off your clothes, when you go to sleep, you thinking about that set. Yo, I did good. Shit, I fucked up. I did good, but I could have did better. Right. I said something, I could have said it better. And if you're a DJ that cares about your craft, you're gonna go through those moments where it's gonna be like, bro, damn. Right. And then you're gonna go through those moments that you're just, if you have the video, or you're just gonna keep replaying it, like, wow, that was epic. That's the proving stage. You're proving it to yourself. Once you prove it to yourself, you just provide a service. That's all you're doing. It's like the greats of the greats. Michael Jackson wasn't going on stage proving that he was the greatest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marshall Montano, Beanie Man, the greats of the greats, Beyonce, Janet Jackson, James Brown. We could go on and on. They don't go on stage and prove. They're not proving. They're just performing. And that is the greatest space to be as a DJ when you got that proven shit out of your you got it out of your system. Right. And you got to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
It's a part of the process.
It's a part of the process. Right. So now when I'm like, for instance, on Twitch, when I'm on Twitch, I'm not proving anything. I'm just being myself. Right. And people see it. Yo, he's having fun. You know, I'll laugh at myself. It's the best place to be because I'm just performing. Right. And that's where I'm at. So I don't have a problem helping anybody get to that stage. And hopefully they could get to it twice as fast as it took me to get these philosophies. Nobody told me these things. All these things I'm talking about, you know, the proven stuff, that's my philosophy that I've come to understand and realize that everybody goes through it. It's just a shame that some of you DJs been DJing 10, 15, 20 years. Y'all still in that proven stage. That's why y'all not helping nobody. You know, that's why y'all feel the need to hate. That's why y'all, you know, it's such a shame. And, you know, I'm uniquely different that way when it comes to that. And I like to thank my martial arts. I like to thank the way my parents brought me up. I like to thank, you know, just my experiences, because that's how I am, you know. Right. If you know me, some people don't know me and they have a very different take. It's cool.
As you said, you go on these platforms and you're in your own element. Mm-hmm. But people don't understand what brought you to that point. So you may say something and have a million reasons as to why you said it, but that one person's always going to take it out of context and say, oh, this one's that way, and etc.
Absolutely.
You know, anyway, that's neither here nor there. We definitely we gotta dive into the music. Right. Now the people know me as a soca guy. Mm-hmm. They know Jakety as the reggae guy. So I'll let him start with the reggae shots, the questions.
Okay. Yeah, so you know, just listening to you for the past 2 years, play like, you know, you're predominantly, when I listen to you, you're predominantly playing soca, but I'll also get the reggae aspect. And you had mentioned sometimes on your show that you grew up in an era where, you know, it was all cassettes. You talked about certain venues that the audio that I listened to, it seems pretty like really outdated, or I shouldn't say outdated, but older.
No,
you're showing your age. You're showing your age when you talk about venues like Amazura and Biltmore and all those things.
Amazura is still open. Amazura is still open.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Amazura is still open. Okay. So that's
like you talked about eras like the Biltmore eras, and to me, I know that as like the greatest time of when Clash and dancehall music was at its rise.
So I've never been to Biltmore.
Oh, you never? Okay.
I'm a few years too young to have been Biltmore.
Okay.
But I was definitely DJing around the time, but I wasn't old enough to go. But I never been to Biltmore in particular.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
But I you know, when you talk about, you know, the Arc, Caribbean Dome, Trinity Hall, Albany Manor, all those places, and even those places, I wasn't old enough to go, but I got in.
Okay.
You know, I got in. You know, so okay. So when it comes to the music, you ask the average person, they would say Kevin was a reggae DJ.
Right.
I hate labels.
Okay.
I hate labels. Now, if you want to call yourself a reggae DJ, if somebody says, I'm a soca DJ, you know, that's great.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool. I am not a person that considers myself a one genre DJ.
Okay.
It's just not who I am.
Right.
You know, it's not who I am. I am a Caribbean DJ. You know, I am a Caribbean DJ. I will say that. But I can play, and again, it's not something I have to prove. You guys see it.
Right.
I can play hip hop. I can play R&B. I can play disco. I could play pop.
Right.
You know, and I'm not talking about a set. You know what I'm saying? I could do a whole 3 hours of any genre, no problem.
Right.
You know, the right way too. It's not like me, I try a team. Right. You know, it's done. I wasn't in the soca world. I wasn't getting booked in the predominantly soca parties. I would go there and I would just party. Right. You know, I was getting booked in the reggae parties, and in the reggae parties, you know, soca just wasn't as big. But I would play some songs.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's just different. Hip hop, you know, is also a thing where, you know, you would play some songs and, you know, you would keep it pushing. And, you know, I was always that guy that I just wanted to be as versatile as bro.
Right.
What's Kevin playing? I don't know. So I always wanted to study. So not being in the soca world, you know, naturally, you know, you're not going to play soca as well as I'm playing it now.
Right.
I got better.
Right.
You know, but I would like to think every year you're on this earth, you're supposed to get better.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like soca DJs who were just playing soca 10 years ago, you should be better now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you should always get better. I have a saying, if you're not evolving, you're dissolving. So I feel like I just got better as a whole overall entertainer.
Right.
In the past 10 years, but always playing soca. I could go in my archives right now and pull out soca records that I've purchased.
Right.
You know, so when I was buying my reggae records and my hip hop and my R&B, I was buying my soca records too. You know, when I finally did get into the soca world, it was funny because the promoters booking me, you know how promoters would be very specific on why they're booking you. You know, listen, I'm booking you, this guy and this guy, this guy. They all play the same shit.
Right.
You know, we don't need you to play what they're playing.
Yeah.
We want you to be the difference.
Right.
We want you to break the rules. And this is what they would tell me, Kevin, you know, it's a soca party, but we want you to be the dancehall guy, or we want you to be the rule breaker. So we want you to be the one that plays 45 minutes or something different. So I guess people would see me in the feds playing those different genres and feel like, oh, this man cannot play soca, when it was requested for me not to play soca. Right. So I don't know if DJs felt a way. I don't know what the hell be going on in these guys' heads. So after maybe a year or so, I would notice before I play, a DJ would say, you know, they wouldn't say it, but, you know, actions speak louder than words. I go on and they would play dancehall or play reggae or play something different that, like, okay, maybe last year Kevin fucked up this party with a disco segment. They would go and play the segment.
Right.
And then I would be put in a position where, yo, this party needs some soca right now.
Right.
And I would play soca. And then people started realizing, holy, this guy could play soca.
Right.
You know, and, you know, it's, you know, when people are processing this, it's like, you know, they would look and see, I wonder when he gonna back.
Right.
Let me see what he gonna undo.
Right.
I want to see. And then after a while, they would look around and everybody's just having the time of their life. And then, you know, it was again that proving stage. And it's you're not only proving yourself in your homeland, you got to go to Barbados and prove yourself. You got to go St. Vincent. You got to go St. Lucia. You got to go Trinidad and prove yourself. And, you know, people like an international DJ, sometimes we not met with open arms when we reach in a country.
Right.
You know, sometimes the locals, DJs or the locals, they just resent the fact that you're there.
Yeah.
And again, it's a hard thing, especially when you're up and coming. Nobody don't know you. 500 people. Your accent is different from theirs. Naturally, your playing style is going to be a little different, because I would never want to go to a place and try to be like a local. I'm not a local. I'm international.
Right.
I'm going to be Kevin Crown. Of course, I'm going to learn and adapt, but I still got to be me.
Right.
So, then that took a couple of years for people to get used to me. And mind you, I'm getting the music and I'm studying the music, and it's trial and error. Okay, let me see how this works. Let me see how this works. Yeah, this works. Yeah, this didn't work. Tweak this, tweak that. And then I got to a comfortable space where everywhere I was going, it was just epic.
It's like a well-oiled machine.
It was moving, like every country, every party. It was just crazy. And that's how I climbed up the soca ladder. And I gotta really thank some people, thank the promoters. I'm gonna just say promoters and DJs, because I don't want to call people's names and then I don't call nobody name and people feel offended. So I ain't gonna call nobody name, But those who know, you guys know, thank you to the DJs that shared music with me, in other countries, in this country. It's just a lot, man. And it's pretty dope. Now I'm at a space in the business where I'm actually busting tunes and putting the music out there before anybody knows it, and telling people, and people, this is the shit.
Yeah.
And people actually understanding, and so now it's like you're actually curating the culture. Now, I tell people now, I'm a curator of this culture.
Right.
I'm a curator of this culture.
Right.
And people could be vexed, but it is what it is. DJs, if I'll just say it. If you have a problem with me or any other DJ, just do better. Do better.
Thanks.
Go on these stages, go on these platforms, and do you. And if your body of works is better, it will show.
Right.
But if it's not, off.
Gotta love it.
Just to backtrack, Kevin Crown, the sound, or sorry, the Crown
King
sound,
Crown.
King Crown. How did that start? Because I'm very interested as a sound person myself. I have my own sound. Every time you play dubs, I just automatically pop up into your live and hear that you're playing dub plates, and I'm like, yo, keep them running, because that's just what I like. So how did King Crown sound started?
King Crown, I think I was 14. I was trying to think about a name for my sound. My real name is Kevin King.
Okay.
My last name is King.
Okay.
And for maybe like 2-3 months, I had the sound system name, because sound systems ran the place. It wasn't DJs.
Right.
It was sound systems. So even though I wasn't even Kevin Crown,
right.
It wasn't that. So I was more concerned about my sound system name. So I was thinking King Royal. That was my sound for like 2 months, King Royal.
Right.
And then, I got around my boy Highness.
Okay.
We were working together, Ideal Department Store, and he had a sound system. They just started it, maybe like 6 months.
Right.
And the name of the sound was King Crown. And I was King Royal. Now, very expensive.
Right.
Records, equipment, dub plate money. So I had my bread. I had my, it wasn't nothing compared to now, but I had money. I had my records from my father. I had my equipment. So we just decided that we just link up. And my name on the sound was Squire.
Squire?
Everybody, Squire, yeah,
Oh, okay.
Squire, Squire.
Okay.
I had a minimal name on the side. Everybody had king names:
Okay.
Emperor, Highness, Majesty, Sire. I was Squire. On the sound, out in the public, the only thing I did on King Crown back then was play soca.
Okay.
I was the soca guy.
Right.
So on King Crown, when I started, I actually started as the soca guy.
Okay.
Soca didn't really play like that.
Right.
So it'd be like a 10, 15-minute set, and then I would just go on the dance floor and do my thing. Boom. But in the house, we all played everything. We all would play reggae music. We would all play the dubs. And then I used to try to, when I did talk to Mike, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, him Squire, the girls, them desire me, sexy girl and proper. Yeah, stuff like that. And then I started getting really good on the microphone because I realized something a long time ago. I used to listen to the mixtapes of Mataran and Stone Love, and I used to try to mimic those guys. I was like, yo, Kev, you not Jamaican, bro. And everybody would try and kind of talk the patois a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And I started realizing that, these guys are speaking their truths and their realities. Right. And I just started speaking my truth and my reality. So I would speak the patois a little bit, but then sometimes I would just talk in my regular voice. Right. But I would be witty and I would be energetic and I would say crazy different things. I'm like, yo, did you hear what he just said? Right. So I started getting very, very good on the mic. And we had a meeting one day and we actually upgraded my role in the sound to being the mics man. And then the guy who was in charge of the hip hop, he had a baby young at the age of 18. And we wanted to be that sound that was just had everything. So I started buying hip hop records. Okay. And because I started buying them, I started playing them and I started learning how to play hip hop. Right. So we all had the reggae in us. Reggae was by default. We all had reggae, dancehall, but in the roles, certain people do certain things. Yeah. So it was soca, it was hip hop. And then, I just started cultivating this guy, and then I started realizing, yo, Squire, that name is whack, son. Right. I was like, yo, everybody got a king name, and my name is Squire. What the is a Squire? You look up what a Squire is. It's like it's not who I wanted to be anymore. You
can imagine if it was called the Squire Morning Show.
Yeah, right. It just didn't. So then I was like, yo, you know what? I think I'm going to just use my real name. Nice. And it actually kept a party. It was in 2004. It was the dancer meets the selector. Because like I said, I was very known as a dancer. Right. But it was almost like you had to put two and two together because there wasn't a lot of social media and videos and stuff. It was just, okay, you see this guy DJing, but you see this guy dancing. You had to put it together. I was the same guy. So I actually did a flyer, the dancer meets the selector. And, I came up with the name Kevin Crown. Kevin from King Crown. And then people started realizing your last name is King, but your stage name is Crown. And they thought King Crown was put together from that. But it was actually because my boy lived on Crown Street. My next boy lived on King's Highway. Oh, wow. So that's how King Crown came about. Okay. But then I came on the sound 6 months later as Squire. Years later, I changed my name to Kevin Crown. And I just kind of, came to the forefront of the sound and kind of kept the sound name, out. Right. But I'm still a member. We still cut dubs. Dope. Pretty much every other day.
Do you guys clash?
Yeah, that we did. Okay. So again, the proven. So coming from the dancing background, everybody was like, yo, Kevin Crown is a jiggy selector. He could only play for dancers. And then there was a talk, it was stupid. They would say, yo, he could only play for girls. Is that bad? Like, But again, you know, you're young, you're aggressive, you want to prove. So I wanted to prove to people I was more than a dancer. So we cut dubs, and you know, we clashed, and you know, we lost some clash, we killed some sound. Um, but it was all a proving process, man. And then
Right.
um I got to a certain status in the industry because of radio, that I started getting to know a lot of the artists, either through interviews or through relationships. And, you know, it came to a point where it's like, Kevin, check your email. And it was just dub plates in the email. That even happens now, you know, where a artist will be like, yo, check your email, and it'll be a dub there. And, you know, so people would think like, yo, Kevin spends a shitload of money on dubs. You know, I spend money sometimes,
Right.
but a lot of times it's just true because of who I am,
Right. Right.
you know. And you know, yeah, I clashed, and you know, as of late, you know, I did the major hype clash virtually with like 7,000-8,000 people, excuse me, watching.
Wow.
And you know, they didn't know, you know, at that time I had the soca identity, so they didn't really know the backstory, because again, people see you when they see you. So they didn't know the backstory, that I've been cutting dubs forever. And you know, I know reggae music, I know clash, I know how to clash, I know the mentality of clashing, and you know, I did what I had to do. So it's, you know, with me, I just don't limit myself, and I don't put myself in a box.
Right.
And you know, that's just what it is. I believe in myself, and that's just what it is, you know.
So
Nice.
let's switch gears for a moment. We talked about a lot of the historical or your dealings within like a physical market of this
Mhm.
industry. You go into clubs, you get in the dubs, etc., etc. I want to bring it to the virtual space now.
Okay.
Now, this is just my personal opinion. This is probably, I would say, one of, if not the biggest moment in your career, because these last 2 years, you've not only dove into the space of online, but you became arguably one of the kings of this shit. And
Um,
although you were up there in your stature or your status in real life, you're now viewed as one of the top of the, you know, the totem pole.
yeah. So when the pandemic hit, I was at the space where I told you guys I was just killing it.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, every country, I was at that space. I was in 2020, I was booked up until December.
Hmm.
In March, I was booked up until December.
Yeah.
You know, every major carnival with the bands. You know, I had contracts with thousands of dollars. You know, and when the pandemic hit, for half a day, I was losing my shit, because you know, when the NBA got canceled for the season,
Yeah.
and I saw what was going on in the world, you know, I was like, damn, bro, this is not for 2 weeks. This is not for a month. This is indefinitely. And it's funny. I had a whole studio in my basement that was collecting dust because I was traveling. But before I was traveling, I had aspirations of doing the radio. You know, I wanted to do, you know, the Hot 97s and the Power 105 ones. And, you know, actually, you know, I've been on BLS, I've been on 105, I've been on Hot 97 in guest spots, but I never secured like a home there.
Resident.
And I was just like, yo, man, if they're not gonna let me on the radio, I'm gonna just build my radio station down here, because one of my mentors told me, Kevin, there's people that got to do radio because they have to. You know, that's all they have. And he said, Kevin, you have so much more to offer. You know, I don't see just radio for you. And he told me, he said, yo, this space is moving towards streaming. Somebody told me this in 2014.
Wow.
Told me this is moving towards streaming. And, you know, I say he's right. And, you know, I started putting up TV screens, and I put up, you know, cameras, And I got a video switcher with a relationship, actually through a sponsor. You know, I got a video switcher and I set my thing up and I had the little angles, the overhead angle. That was Studio A. It was already set up. And, you know, Instagram, when Instagram had the live feature, I actually had a show, Kevin Crown Live, on Instagram Live. You know, this is before the copyright issues, and I was just playing music, and it was extremely clear because I did the research back then how to get your studio plugged directly into your device. So I had that. I knew all of that. But then I started touring. The only time I came in the studio was to do a SoundCloud mix. That's it. So that Saturday, you know, I did the Uber Soca Zoom party.
Yes.
Uber Soca had about 1,500 people in the Zoom.
Oh, wow.
And because of Trini Jungle Juice and Uber Soca on Facebook, they had about 30,000 people watching.
Wow.
Jeez.
So yeah. And I didn't know it. But just because I had a head start and everything, my studio looked the best. My audio sounded the best. I had the best lighting, and people took notice of that. And, you know, so many people was like reaching out to me, Kevin, yo, thank you so much. We want to send you money. I'm talking about 100 people. We want to send you money. We would have been in a party. We would have been drinking. We would have been in a party. We didn't spend no money. We want to send the money to you. And this happened over and over again. I did the Uber Soca thing like a couple of times. And then I went on Instagram and I saw everybody was on in the night. I said, shit, this is a free-for-all.
Right.
And nobody was on in the morning. And I said, yo, I'm gonna just do the mornings because people need a morning vibe.
Yeah.
I had the worst numbers because everybody was up all night watching everybody. I had the worst numbers, 40, 50 people. But, you know, I felt good. The same anxiety everybody had. I had it. The only time I didn't have it was when I was playing the music. And, you know, I went on, the first 2 hours, I didn't even talk. I was just playing music. And then I started talking. I was like, yo, people, you think I should do this tomorrow? And it was like, yeah. And then I did it. Numbers grew a little bit. And, you know, I just started doing my research on how I could do this. And, it just grew from there. And, you know, people were saying every single day, we want to send you money. We want to thank you. So I came up with this thing called Tip the DJ. Yeah. It was funny because everybody made fun of me. You know, people, 2 weeks and this man broke, he begging for money. And I wasn't broke, but I just felt like, yo, instead of me just keep telling people my Cash App, right, I could just put it up on the screen. Yeah. And whoever want to send, they send. And, you know, people were making fun at first. And then slowly but surely, every single DJ in the world had tipped the DJ on their life.
That was a big thing. I remember that. Like,
it was a debate with people. Like, people were like, do you agree with DJs doing this?
Right.
But it's nobody's putting a gun to y'all head and saying, exactly, you need to do this or else.
I was the first one. I was the first one.
It was you, Chow, and somebody else. Like,
right. And people call me. How's that working out? And I was telling them, I was like, yo, bro, people are offering me money.
Right.
It wasn't like I was begging. It was just like, yo, if people keep asking you the address to this party, where's the address? Where's the address? Where's the address? Where's the address? You're gonna get tired of saying it, right, and you're just gonna put it right there. So whoever wants to know knows. Right. So people, I just put it out there. Tip the DJ. People, negative people thought, we was begging and that we wasn't. And then, we did a Zoom party and people were laughing. Yo, who the f is going to pay for a Zoom party? And we was just like, yo, we going to charge $10. We going to do what it do. We sold 1,000 tickets.
Wow.
we sold 1,000 tickets.
Right.
And what we noticed is there'd be people who bought one ticket, but then they would have 20 people at their house. Yeah. So no, it was maybe a couple of people. It was one person in front of the camera, but it was a lot of people who had mini parties in the Zoom party. Right. So we wasn't playing for 1,000 people. We was playing for more like 5,000-6,000 people. Right. You know, and we were doing the Facebook. We were doing it at a time. I was doing Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and then, you know, I had Twitch. So at the time I was doing 4. YouTube would cut out, Facebook would cut out, Instagram would just cut off. And then I took, one day I got really pissed off because, you know, in Instagram, people could flag you. And I noticed it because I was playing dubs, and dubs are not copyrighted. Right. Technically, that's mine. I paid for that. Right. You know, it was a dub on a different rhythm. Yeah. It was, so, you know, I got flagged 3 times in 10 minutes. I didn't go back on Instagram.
For dub plates? You got flagged for dub plates?
I got flagged. Somebody flagged me. Somebody flagged.
That's a hater right there.
Yeah, in like it happened 3 times in 10 minutes.
That's crazy.
It kept happening. And I said, you know, yo, people, y'all want to see the rest of this show? This is the original Crown Army, before there was a Crown Army. This is the Morning Show family. Download Twitch. And it was funny. I had like a mass download for Twitch. And every day for a month, I was getting 100 followers a day on Twitch. Every single day, like clockwork, 100. I didn't know nothing about raids. I didn't know nothing about nothing. So I was never really building my stuff off of raids. Yeah. And, you know, so I you know, shout out to Guardian, who was the first person who kind of told me everything and told me how to get affiliate. And, you know, so, you know, this was close to the close of 2020. This is like October 2020. I got partnered in December of 2020.
Cheers.
And then I just, you know, did what I did on Twitch, and I you know, a lot of people just knew me from the virtual space, and, you know, they started finding out over time who I actually was in this world, whether it was through interviews or it was just through like, oh, that's Kevin Crown. You don't know who Kevin Crown is? Or I remember in particular, I interviewed, there was a space where I was just interviewing artists, Lyrical, Shensia, Patrice, Sean Paul, Elephant Man. And people started noticing the rapport I had with the artists. It was like, yo, he must, because I'm not a name dropper. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a name dropper and say, yo, I know this person, I know this person. It's just when we talk, you realize it. And then people realize when I spoke to Elephant Man, because one of my AKAs is the energy godson. And people was like, well, Elephant Man is the energy god. And it was like, yo, you want to know who named me? It was Elephant Man.
Wow.
And Elephant Man was like, yo, Kevin Krong, I the DJ with the most energy in the world. Me had the energy God, but this is the energy Jesus. And I was like, yo, I can't go around calling myself Jesus. Jesus?
Yeah. You do a lot of shit, Pastor Crown, but you can't go around calling yourself Jesus.
Right. So I didn't call myself Energy Jesus, but who is Jesus? That's God's son. Right. So I called myself the Energy God Son.
So before you proceed, NBCK, what about that?
Oh, that was before the Energy God.
How did that come about?
Okay, so before that, I was in a crew, KCUS.
Yeah.
That was my sound combined with another sound. Okay. That was King Crown combined with Ultimate Sensation. Yeah. Right? We formed a group called KCUS. At the time, we was like the Brooklyn Stone Love, bro. It was like 13 of us, and we were keeping our own dances. We was doing our own flyers. Everything was in-house because it was so much of us. And we actually, like, there was like a little neighborhood award show, and we got Sound System of the Year. Okay. And you know, the promoter came to me. You know, I don't ever think I ever said this live, but the promoter came to me and was like, yo, Kevin, yo, the reason why I gave y'all Sound System of the Year is because of you. But, you know, I was never that guy that was interested in self-promotion. I was always about promoting the team. You know, so my hard work would just, the team would eat that. And, you know, when I got to the, you know, the Kevin Crown space of my life, you know, I just realized like, yo, everybody don't have the same heart as me.
Yeah.
You know, everybody don't have the same work ethic as me. So something happened where I quietly parted ways from that KCUS situation. You know, and I'm not the person to go on social media and bash anybody. What I do is just take my energy away from anybody. But I like the letters KCUS. I like those. So one day I was watching this movie, Natural Born Killers with Woody Harrelson. I was like, yo, this movie is wild. And I get what they call, I guess, an epiphany, where slowly after that I saw the network NBC, and I saw the you know, the peacock, pause, whatever. Right. And I saw NBC, and then I had Natural Born Killers in my brain, and I said NBCK. And I saw it in my head. Yeah. Natural Born Club Killer. Oh. And I said, oh shit. And I called my boy. I said, yo, bro, what you think about this? Natural Born Club Killer. He said, that sounds violent, bro. I said, yeah, but it ain't that. You know? And again, as an MC, I didn't always talk patois. Sometimes I talk in my regular voice. Right. So I went in my regular Brooklyn voice, and I was like, yo, it's the NBCK, Natural Born Club Killer, Kevin Crown. People was like, yo, that sounds dope. And then just being creative, I went and said, yo, Natural Born Club Killer, Kevin Crown, we kill clubs, resurrect them, and kill them all over again. Because that's what I did. Right. You know, people say, yo, Kevin, you killed it. You murdered it. So I took that and made it my own. And then I made clothes that said Natural Born Club Killers. Mm. That is something, if from a marketing standpoint, I didn't learn that from nobody. But when I put the killers and I made anybody could be a part of what I was doing, right. I created a movement. You know, I created a community. You know, instead of just putting Kevin Crown or Natural Born Club Killer, who is me, right. I put Club Killers. So everybody wanted to be a part of, I'm a club killer. I'm a club killer. I'm a club killer. So at a time, the movement was big in Brooklyn. And then, you know, we had people was just wearing clothes. And one day I had a party, and it was like 200 people wearing Natural Born Club Killers in the party. And, that got to a level. And, I don't know if it was reinvention or just adding on, and I just took on the Energy Godson, and then it just became NBCK, Energy Godson, Kevin Crown. Yeah. And, it just fit me. And, it's just, that's just how those things came about. And, that the Club Killer movement taught me about branding. It taught me about, representing your brand. So I'm not the person that you're going to see wear a lot of name brand without representing myself. So, I see a lot of guys that wear but Gucci and Louis and this name and that name. And if that works for you, that's what you like. But you quicker see me wearing a Kevin Crown or NBCK or Energy Godson or a morning show, or, you would quicker see me wearing that than one of those names. So I knew all of that going into Twitch. Yeah. And then that's how the thing came about.
There's a lot of important takeaways from what you just said. Like one of them, for instance, branding, creating something that people want to feel a part of. Going back to the virtual space where we were discussing, just the fact of you having everything already there in your studio, but you just weren't using it. Shout out to them guys at Earn Your Leisure. I heard them say a powerful quote, which was, in the pandemic, what did everybody see? The rich became richer,
Sure. Yeah.
and the poor became more poor. But at the end of the day, what separated the two? It's because the rich had resources and were more prepared for that situation. The poor was in panic mode now. And, you know, I say the poor, but in general, it's just people who aren't as prepared or well off. They were in panic mode. So you got to figure out now, when's the next bill coming in?
Right.
But if you have those things in place, when these sort of instances like a pandemic happen, you're prepared. And that's a very important takeaway from what Kevin just said. Right. And one thing I want you to touch on before we pivot gears again is, you told me something, you know, we talk. You told me something one time about morning listeners and the financial results of having morning listeners as opposed to any other time of day. I want you to touch a little bit on that.
So, I come from a radio background.
Yeah.
For those who watch the morning show, it's easy to tell, you know, I'll be a little, you know, whatever, ballsy about it. I'm great at radio. You know, I have great radio etiquette. You know, I know how to do more than just play music.
Yeah.
So if you guys study radio, the machine that drives any radio station is the morning show.
Yep.
You know, the reason for that, advertisers want people who are up in the morning. You're up in the morning because you have a job or you have a business. People who have a job or a business, mainly people with money, do not sleep past 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I was interested in providing, you know, something for people who needed to be up in the morning: drivers, essential workers, teachers, just people who just was up in the morning. That's the audience I wanted.
Right.
I didn't want the little fly by night, unloyal nighttime listeners, because the nighttime listeners was just like, yo, we're gonna listen to this, we're gonna watch this, we're gonna watch this, we're gonna watch this. You know, it was just like on to the next. I also believed that I looked at going live as more than just going live. I looked at it as a business. I looked at it as a way. I looked at it as a way. I saw what was going on with the Tip the DJ situation. That I feel like me and a couple of others who were at the forefront of that gave other people the courage to do that, and people actually gained success doing that.
Yep.
You know, I think we made it okay for people to be able to do that, because I know the discussion, and I will say again, whoever had a problem with it, you know, I do not regret doing it. Yeah. If as a DJ, if you didn't do it because of other people, that just shows what kind of mind you have.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a weak-minded individual, and I don't care what people say about me.
But realistically, like, like if you were a DJ and that was your main source of income, you know, you'd be in, like, before the pandemic, if you were DJing and that was your main source of income, I don't think it wasn't nothing wrong asking people.
It just falls back to what I said, bro. It's simple and plain. Kevin Crown is not putting a gun to your head or telling you that I'm not going to do this unless you tip me.
Right.
It is simply, if you want to tip the DJ, here is the Cash App, here's the PayPal.
Right. I was there regardless. I was going to do it, and I still do it regardless.
Yeah.
You know, I do it regardless, you know. But what a lot of people didn't talk about, we started making so much money, we actually gave back. We did fundraisers. We did single mother drives. We did the rise, the benefit for St. Vincent. Yep. We did the Thanksgiving drive.
The list goes on, cancer research, etc.
And so we did a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
but they don't bring that up.
Right.
I don't even bring it up because it's not something. When you do charitable things, I don't think you got it. I do a lot. I do a lot for DJs, and you don't never really see me posted on my page after the fact. Yo, this is what I did today. This is what I did today. This is what I did today. It's just I believe in karma, and like I said, it goes back to champions are selfish, masters create champions.
I love that.
So I feel like, I streamed the most on Twitch last year. I did. I streamed the most. I think I would like to say I raised the bar in certain aspects of streaming, where I showed people, it is possible to do this at this level. It is possible to do this. It is possible to do this. It is possible to do this. I'll take it back to, I think I made it possible to DJs to know, it's possible to have clean audio instead of just putting your phone to the speakers. Right?
Right.
It's possible for you to dress up like you got a gig instead of just DJing in your wife beater. It's possible for you to dress up and have a studio, even if you just put up a poster and some lighting instead of just having your kitchen in the background.
Right.
Things that people weren't even thinking about, the presentation. I would like to think, me and a couple others, we helped cultivate that. And over the last 2 years, obviously, we've turned it into a whole different kind of thing. Yeah. From the virtual boat rides, Busby, you have, your cooking show. It's so much creativity that has been brought to life over the years, because naturally you keep doing it, you're going to get better at doing it.
Right.
And it's just an amazing thing that what we were the pioneers of.
Yeah.
Not saying I did it first.
Exactly.
I didn't do it first. There were DJs on Twitch before me. Yeah. They were, but I don't think it's about who did it first. Michael Jordan wasn't the first person to play basketball.
Right.
So there it goes right there.
Absolutely. And I think this is the moment in the podcast where we need to say the most important story out of all of this, what we're talking about here in terms of our linking up. Mm-hmm. And that falls back on me diving into this space. And it's the same thing. I've been grinding. I've been putting in the work in terms of, just having an infrastructure at home to play music. But I was prepared to go on the Twitch platform now and do these things and elevate day by day. Well, how do I do this? I see this. How do I do that? And again, this story too is also for all those people down the road who probably going to be like, well, Busby D-riding Kevin Crown's career and that, this is an important story and a takeaway that I put in the work. I worked years on my craft enough to be in a position where if something lucky were to happen to me, I'm in a position now where I could be noticed as something of value. And that's exactly what happened on Twitch. Now, the story is, literally, I've been watching Kevin Crown's morning show here and there most days because there wasn't really nothing popping in the mornings anyway on Twitch.
Right.
And now getting into that space, you watch Twitch consistently.
Yeah.
But it was one morning, I'll be honest, we started working from home.
Yeah.
I think I was supposed to be working. I was sleeping or something like that. I probably worked the first hour and then knocked out on my break. But anyway, Bree, big up Bree, she calls me out of the blue. And I pick up the phone, wipe a coal out my eyes. And I said, what's going on? She said, Kevin Crown is having this random raid thing where he's telling a bunch of up-and-coming DJs, not the bigger DJs that everybody knows, the up-and-coming ones, can every DJ in the chat room press 1, and I'm going to put you guys in a voting system, and whoever gets the most votes, I'm going to send you my raid.
Right.
So I'm literally there waking up out of my sleep are you sure?
Right.
It's Kevin Crown. He has a whole New York audience. Who the hell am I?
Right.
I'm from Toronto. Nobody's going to care about voting for me.
Right.
So I said, you know what? She kept pushing me.
Right.
And I was, you know what? Why not?
Right. Yeah.
I'm a type 1. Bro, I won by a landslide.
Right.
I was not expecting that. I'm there thinking this is a New York audience, but I'm not conceptualizing this is the world locked in.
Right.
And a lot of people from Toronto who I didn't even realize was locked in.
Right.
So I win the thing by a landslide. I'm talking like second place was like 20-something votes. I had over 60.
Right.
So I win. Kevin Crown says, all right, we raiding DJ Busby. He sends me the raid, but I think the biggest thing was he not only just sent the raid, he sat there and listened.
Right.
And then I get a message. I did my thing.
Right.
I had technical issues.
Right.
At that time, I was having problems. My whole thing popped down. my stream OBS crashed.
Wow.
So I'm there like, bro, this man just sent me a raid.
Right.
My whole thing popped down. He's going to look at me like unprofessional.
Right.
I boot back up. Everybody joins back. Finish the show. I'm like, okay, but I'm still pissed.
Right.
Because I'm like, the thing popped down. Kevin's going to look at me a certain type of way. The man messaged me.
Right.
Said, yo, bro, you're actually like good.
Right.
And he's like, these songs, this one song that you played, this one song, can you send that for me, please?
Right.
So said, so done. Next week, same thing again.
Right.
I put in my name.
Right.
He sends me the raid again.
Right.
This one now was a lot more smooth, but he sends me another message saying, yo, bro, you sick with it? Like, you good?
Right.
So now we building a rapport. And, you know, it was never me sliding in the DM, yo, Kevin, can you put me on?
Right.
I was never begging for no opportunity.
Right.
That came naturally. But again, that reinforces the point. And these are the kind of messages I want the people to understand from these stories.
Right.
It reinforces the point that I've spent years not practicing to get a raid from Kevin Crown.
Right.
2 years ago, we didn't know nothing about no raid.
Right.
I know raid is to kill bugs. You understand? But we get this raid. I get this raid now. I get this raid now.
Bait bugger kills even resistant bugs.
You see? But I get it now, and now this guy who I've tried to been linking with for years. You know, you as a young DJ, you always want to link with the Private Ryans, the Kevin Crowns, but who I've been trying to but never had access to. That was a platform now that he saw me, and we've built a bond, a working relationship, where he will call me literally out of the blue.
And just to go back to that second time that you got raided, I remember saying, "Yo, like put your name again," and you're like, "Nah, you know, let another DJ get it." I'm like, "Bro,
facts,
bro, come on, like you have to look out for yourself." I get what you're trying to do, you know, trying to look out for other DJs. But you're in a space now where you got to get yours. You got to eat.
And Jakey really did push me because I was like, yo, I give it to somebody else. Like, I got it last week.
Yeah,
but
I'm like, nah,
Jakey was like, you got to start looking out for you, bro. You think these DJs would say, nah, give Busby a chance.
Exactly.
They're not saying that. So I say all of that to say, you know, I was preparing myself for a moment I didn't even know what happened.
Right. Yeah.
And literally from the time Kevin and I linked, and then he's calling me now saying, yo, Buzz, I love what you're doing here, but you could fix this.
Right.
And then I would call Kevin out of the blue. Yo, have you thought about doing this? Not even like DJ related per se.
Right.
Something as simple as, yo, investing your money and just long term.
Just life.
But I want to see my brother elevate like how he does with me.
Right.
You understand? And what he said to me when, you know, we have those kind of chats is, yo, people don't do this. Guys are always dog eat dog.
Yep.
You know, but again, an important takeaway is just I developed myself to a point where I got into a lucky situation, and now I'm able to say, okay, I'm in this space. Kevin's linking with me.
Right.
JKD, you have talents that you could bring to the table. You and Kevin Crown now could link.
Yeah. And I don't even call it. I don't even call that luck. I just call that like that's a God divine thing.
Yeah.
Like God planned it that way.
It's energy, man.
That's not luck.
Yeah.
It's energy.
Right.
Because sorry to cut you guys, but these things that I'm now doing, it was never done for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
I don't want to say nobody.
Yeah.
But not DJs. You know, when I was coming up, I didn't realize the talents that I had were very different from other DJs. Because coming from a dancing background, like not no bullshit dancing, like I was a legit dancer.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there wasn't a lot of DJs who could dance on my level. And then, you know, I was, I worked out, you know, I looked a certain way. I was very energetic. And then the the certain way that I spoke. There was a lot of carbon copies. Okay, this guy's gonna scream like Fire Links. This guy's gonna say the same things like Mataran. This guy's gonna try to sound like this one. This one's gonna try to sound like this one. This one's gonna try to sound like this one. I wasn't concerned. There was a time where I said, yo, I ain't even listening to those things to get influence. I'm just gonna do my thing, cultivate my own juggling, cultivate my own talks, and then I would not get put on certain situations, and I would be like, yo, am I doing something wrong?
Yep.
And then it was people who told me, nah, bro, you're not doing something wrong. You're a threat.
Yep.
And I remember, I don't want to call this DJ's name. He's a very big DJ. And I was in a party with him, and this is a big deal. You know, this is a big deal. And, you know, it was a big star. If I can say the name, it was Jamie Foxx.
Oh, sure.
It was Jamie Foxx's pool party. And this is when Jamie was filming the Django. I remember, because he had the beard. It was still growing in. He was filming the Django, and this big DJ. It was like 4,000 people. You know, he came on, and after like 20, 25 minutes, he had everybody bored as.
Right.
I'm talking about Jamie and his people just sitting down. Everybody was just moving around. It was a social gathering at this point.
Yeah.
When I came on, that sound, bro,
Killed it.
I did what I had to do. I actually got, this is a good way to segue into another topic. I actually taught Jamie Foxx how to skip to Malou and how to Palance.
Wow.
I actually have the pictures from that day.
Okay.
You know, and then the promoter, after everybody left, you know, I'm just basking in the moment. You know, the promoter said, yo, you don't know what you just did. And he said, yo, you ain't never gonna get on the radio. He told me that. He said, you never get on the radio. He was like, you, why? He was like, yo, you just upstage, blah, blah, blah. But I really didn't. I just did what I did to the best of my ability.
Right.
And because these things didn't happen is the reason why I have the studio in my space, which is why I didn't want, when I get there, to be that same kind of person. So that's why I want to give, and I want to provide a way, and I want to help people. And then I'm like, yo, during the pandemic, I realized everything that happened to me for a reason, to get me through this time. And you know, it's just like, you really can't have no regrets, man. You can't really dwell on the past.
Right.
Just gotta learn from it.
Yep.
So
I know exactly what you talk about by segue. Now
Yeah,
we gotta
right.
talk about the P word, my brother.
Right.
Now, a big part of this show too is, you know, for the people, it's not just for us to come here with entertainment. We want to provide value in terms of takeaways and how we could elevate ourselves as people, as an overall culture. And with that comes something that we love dearly to our hearts, and that's soca music. Now,
Yes.
me and you have had several discussions on the P word. And when I say the P word, talking about Palance.
Yes. Palance.
So what is your perspective on the it seems like never-ending feud when it comes to Palance?
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. In all the days and months and going up on 2 years I've been doing this morning show, have you ever heard me play Palance on the morning show?
No, not to my recollection, no.
It's pretty safe to say, when it comes to soca music, I'm at the forefront of presenting new music on Twitch. Would you say that?
Yes,
Would you guys say?
Absolutely.
All right. My problem with Palance, the bashing of Palance is, you know, Palance is not Savannah Grass. You know, Palance is not Feel the Love. It's not Can You Feel It? It's a specific thing for a specific thing, a specific action, a specific song that plays for 60 seconds or less in a party.
Yep.
Right? I have a problem with them bashing that song in particular when it's not really the song you're bashing. You're bashing the uncreativity of the DJ using that when nothing else works. All right? That's the same DJ that's going to play the exact same set another DJ played. So you're not really mad at Palance per se. Right. You're mad at the lack of diversity. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I go to a party and I hear every song I want to hear, and a DJ plays Palance, I'm Palancing because I'm having a great time. But if you're telling me they're not playing, and I'm talking about every song that I love. If they're not going in, they're not playing no Dennery, they're not playing no Jab, they're not playing this, they're not playing that. And then they go into the generic, everybody take a jump, togetherness, Faluma, Palance, and then come out of the genre. Yeah, I'm gonna be upset.
Right.
You understand? Right. Where I play, the majority of 95% of the time, Palance does not play. Palance plays in places that are the soca community is the minority, right. And it's like a big dancehall party or it's a big urban party. Right. And people, when you're a DJ, majority rules. So if I'm on a stage with 7,000 people and there are 100 soca people, diehard soca people, I will say, you know what? Let me go in a soca lane. I know soca music very well. And I'm going to play some music to see what they know. If those records do not pass the test, I am definitely not going to keep going and going and going and have the other 6,950 people look at me like I'm an asshole. Yeah. Right. All right? Because you know what the next DJ is going to do? Yep. He's going to say, yeah. Kevin want to play a bunch of music that these people in front of me don't know. Everybody take a jump, take a balance, and the crowd up. Right. You know what it looks like? Kevin don't know what the he's doing. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, time and place. The reason why I asked you, have you guys ever heard me play Palance on my live? No. But you hear me play. I push all soca. The other problem I have with it is Palance has been the gateway song to so many people who don't really listen soca like that. And for you people that are diehard soca listeners, soca music is very low on the totem pole when it comes to genres, when it comes to respect. That's why when you see the Grammys, there's no soca artist there. Right. They're not even in the crowd. And if they're in the crowd, the camera don't pick up on them because the entertainment industry don't give a fuck about them. All right? Yeah. So when you get a song that says, yo, Palance brought us to the 10th floor and we trying to get to the 50th floor, we trying to get to the 100th floor, right? Them big songs that we all love, them shits is at the bottom. Them shits is in the basement. They're underground. Them shits that we love and we want to hear and we grave for and we think, like the Bamboo song, the Bamboo is in the basement. Is in the basement. All right? I'm pretty sure in 6 months to a year, the same thing you're doing to Palance, you're going to do to Bamboo. Yeah. All right?
Absolutely.
Right? You guys are a song that is on the 10th floor. So when Swiss Beats or Timbaland or anybody says, yo, let me see what's going on with this soca music. Yeah. Yo, this Palance, I seen this. I like this. Have everybody moving to the left, moving to the right. Then you look at the soca music and be like, we hate that song. Right? And then like I'm talking from a Swiss Beats perspective. Oh, they don't with that no more. So what they with? Push back on the Bamboo, baby. Push back. You like, from an outside looking in, you be like, oh, okay. I don't know if they got their shit together. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really, when I defend Palance, I'm defending all soca music. If you don't like it, cool. But why y'all going out of y'all way so much to bash the song?
It's crazy, bro, because I played at a party yesterday and the DJs that were playing, they're playing soca and they're playing it well, and then they you know, they play Palance. It's not like they drawed for it, like, you know, to get the crowd moving. The crowd was already moving, and they just played it. Bro, the amount of people that actually sat down because the song was played. More than half the dance sat down. And it's sad.
See, that, I mean, if I wouldn't play Palance in a soca crowd. I wouldn't, and I don't draw for the song. I just don't like the bashing of the song.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cool. You know, look at Pond River, Pond Bank.
Exactly.
You know, Pond River, Pond Bank is going to be 19 years old.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow.
It's gonna be. It came out in 2003. It's gonna be 19 years old.
Wow.
Badman Forward came out in 2005. It's gonna be 17 years old.
Right.
You know, Signal the Plane. I bet you if they played Signal the Plane, everybody would be like this.
Absolutely.
Right?
Hands down.
You know, when we were young, nobody did that to Dollar Wine.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if you want to talk about overused songs, there's Papa Bottle, there's Duckin',
right?
There's Professional. There's so many songs that's been overdone. Why did they choose Palance? Because of the action of Palance. Yep. So you know, I'm Grenadian. What about Mass Over Day? What about Get in Your Section? There's so many songs that you're actually doing the same thing. Yeah, I the king of parties with them songs, you know.
Right.
You can't talk to me when it comes to that. I know the science behind that.
Yeah.
I know the science where this side don't want to move. All right? We're gonna make this side go into that side. And then we're gonna say, hey, you gonna let them people do that to you? Go back into them. Right? Then they're gonna be like, nah, that. And then the people that didn't want to move, they wind up moving. Then we say, all right, all you turn around. Now we going back. Now anybody in the back, all you had to move. And then we move the whole crowd back. Yeah. But that's entertainment. That's psychology. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on with that. You know, I think the you know, at the end of the day, we do what we do for the people. So if the people want to retire the song, or they want to bash the song, or they want to put the song in that negative space, you know, you're doing the music a disservice. Because I'm telling you, as a person who rarely plays the song, you know, I rarely play the song. When I used to play the song, I literally opened up people's eyes to our genre. Now, as a DJ, it's just like that first Afrobeat song that we all had, right? You remember that? Yeah. Remember that when it was what was sour, yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's Afrobeat, right?
Right.
That's not soca, right?
Facts.
Suppose the African people said, "Yo, we tired of hearing that. Every time y'all play that, we gonna sit down." Right? As a DJ, you're gonna be like, "Yo, man, I don't know nothing about this Afrobeat. The shit I think is popping. They sitting down and playing. Yo, look what they doing to the DJs that's even playing. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't. Song that could elevate everything.
I had Afrobeats in my laptop for years. I didn't know what to do with until the pandemic, and I really studied this. Right. Telling you the truth, I wasn't that lit with Afrobeats until the pandemic. Tell you the truth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if I would have got that energy from them first couple of Afrobeat songs, I would have been like, nah, bro, I ain't with this, because they don't even like their own shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Right.
It's overplayed now.
Yeah.
Right? But you think somebody who actually brought Jerusalem and introduced it to the Caribbean crowd, the dance and everything, You think now because I'm tired of hearing it, I'm not gonna enjoy hearing it? Nah, man, it's y'all diehard soca people. I'm talking to y'all diehard soca people. Stop killing and stifling our music. Our music is not, go on Tidal, go look for soca, look for the genre. Go look for the genre.
Amazing.
It's I love it, bro. You can't tell me nothing about soca. I play soca in parties that people that stand up because it's too new. I played Jolene in a party last week. It was maybe 2% of the crowd knew it. I pulled it up and I said, yo, this is real soca music. This is one of the favorite songs. And I just ate the fact that people are going to stand up and watch me.
Right.
Until 4 or 5 months away when it becomes big.
Yeah, that's cool. But you have to do it.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's I don't know, man. It's something that I really don't like. I really don't like it. DJs, if you don't like Palance, don't play it. All right, but don't join the movement of bashing the song, because it was a great song at one point.
Yep.
At a point, it got overplayed, and then it did get shelved because majority of us don't play it.
Yeah.
Just like majority of us don't play Dollar Wine.
Yeah.
We might play Dollar Wine. Just like we might play Rupee Jump.
Yep.
We might. Or what would you rather? Us, everybody just play Bamboo over and over again?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's looking like now. Like yesterday's dance, they played that song for like at least 4 times.
Right, but that's the song of the moment.
Right,
Palance
exactly.
was one of those songs.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, they say, people say, oh, we want to hear a variety of soca. Yeah. It's not true. Take it from a person who knows. I know Vincy Soca, Lucian, Grenadian, Small Island.
Right.
All right. I just get some Guadeloupe Soca, Dominica. I love this music. Yeah. Even some of the stuff out of Trinidad. You play a lot of this stuff and people clock out because they don't know it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm telling you. So the reality is, y'all want to know what y'all want to hear what y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, majority rules. So either y'all go out of your way to really hear and understand what's going on in the morning. Like I said, the morning show, but not just the morning show. Busby, listen to the mixes, see what's going on, hear the music, stream the music. So there's so much great music that comes out. Yeah. You think we don't want to play the music that y'all know? You think we don't want to? You think we don't want to? We just want to keep playing the same shit. But at the end of the day, y'all, even me, myself, I cannot go to a party and just hear music I don't know the entire time.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
I want to know something I could sing along to. I want to know if I have a little dance routine, I know what's coming next. When I should do this, when I should do that. I want a little familiarity. I don't mind something I never heard before, but we got to mix it in and blend it in. That's what DJs do.
Right.
But y'all got to be real with yourselves, man. Are y'all really, really diehard soca listeners and diehard soca lovers? Are y'all really? Because if y'all really was, y'all got to realize, something that is old for you and you're tired of it may be new to the next person. So don't spoil that. With the same way you had a first experience with Palance and you was like this and like that, there may be somebody in that venue who's never heard it before. Why are you spoiling that first experience for them? How about what if we said, man, Dong De, GBM Neutron, boy, we been playing that. We're not playing that no more.
Yeah.
Right? And then somebody never heard it.
Right.
They never got the first experience.
Facts.
I know people say that. I don't care. I don't like it. You're selfish. You're thinking about you.
And furthermore, I would go so far as to challenge the industry with that whole concept, because not only is it difficult to hear the new music? Us DJs, as it is, getting access to those smaller islands of music. It's so hard to be finding some of them records sometimes. I have to go digging, and I'm like, I should not have to be trying this hard to find some song out in whatever island to play it for my people here.
It's the distribution. So, with me, I traveled.
Yeah.
I traveled, and as the world is smaller now because we're all connected virtually. DJs, you got to make friends in other countries, man. You want Lucian music, you got to make a friend with somebody in Lucia.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got to ask questions. Right. Are you from St. Lucia? And it's easy. It's very easy. Right. You could go in a girl's DM and not try to talk to her. Are you from St. Lucia? What's your favorite song, soca right now? That's actually what I do when I go to a country. I talk to women because women know music way better than men. And I talk to them. I say, yo, what do you like? What's your favorite songs? And then, naturally I try to listen, and I listen to melodies. I listen to keys. I listen to drums, and I try to make it at least sound good. At least sound good. And then it's an art to play new music. It's something called sandwiching. You want to bust a new tune, you can't go down. We can't play 10 minutes a new tune, right? But what you could do, you could get a familiar song, and then you have a monster song after it, where you sandwich in something that they never heard before.
Right.
And they give us the soca music, they give us the tools to win. They give us the stems, they give us the instrumentals. So if you got something that has a real nice rhythm, get them the rhythm first, met them. Get in the rhythm first. Get in the rhythm. I'm gonna just let y'all hear the rhythm. Y'all can do what y'all want on it.
Right.
And if people having a good time and a man jamming on a woman, you think you really gonna care? Hey, I don't know what the this is. I gotta stop jamming. Nah. So that's called a sandwich. You sandwich it together, right? And the mentality, DJs, is I understand that when I'm playing this new music, the majority of the crowd is going to stand up and they're not going to know what to do. You know why? Because they are processing what you are giving them.
Right.
They're not going to give that crazy, and that's okay to a degree. That's okay to a degree. Your whole set can't be like that. Right. That's what the radio's for. That's what a mixtape is for.
Right. I
ain't trying to be showcase new tunes for a whole hour and have everybody stand up for the whole hour. They're gonna be like, Kevin played like shit.
Right.
Come on, man. Let's be real.
Facts.
That's good. Nobody, it's a time and place. Are you listening to the mixes? Are you on Twitch listening to the soca that's coming out? Are you listening to the songs general? When an artist says, I dropped this song, are you listening to it on your own?
Right.
You're probably not.
Probably not.
You're probably not. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that we having this conversation. Like, I defend Palance and I don't even play it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm one of those guys that's palancing down the place, because I'm not. I'm not. But I think it's you're sabotaging the growth of the music when you feel like you are tired of hearing a song and you feel like it's time for us to retire the song, when again, there may be somebody who's, let's say somebody from, I don't know, LA was in that party yesterday, right? And, they never been in a soca party. And maybe they saw, Bandit on live or Buzz B on live or somebody on live. They was in Toronto. I want to go to the soca party, right? And the first experience of Palance was everybody sitting down to it. You robbed that person of the first experience that you had, that you're now tired of.
Right.
True.
It's like if you never seen a movie for the first. What's your favorite movie? The first time you saw your favorite movie, somebody came in there, yo, this shit is whack. You know what happened at the end?
Yeah. It alters your perception of it.
Yeah, so just be considerate.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you had a Palance down the place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. you know, and you know, if you're having a great time and you know, Palance play one time, just you know, just let it pass, and
But
you know,
again,
also,
it's time and place, as you said.
honestly, as a DJ too, you gotta understand when a song ain't working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you Palancing and we down the road, and you see nobody is in the mood to Palance,
Yeah.
you could tell them, just put your hands up
Right.
and just Palance. It's a lot of different things you do as a DJ or as an MC where you could see, well, this party is too ram. People is not moving left to right, because that'd be the situation too sometimes. It'd be so tight that they can't move. But you got to have the foresight to see, all right, nobody looking like they're ready to Palance. Ain't nobody pointing. Yeah. So you be like, you could, as the DJ, you be like, all right, we're gonna Palance in and out real quick. So you even give the people a chance to sit down. But y'all really gonna go sit down on a DJ that you was just having the time of his life? Yep. Like that's disrespectful.
Very.
That's just like you was just having a good time and they're doing a good job. Right. But because you sat down on my set, yeah, party done. Go home. Go home. Right. Party's done. Go home.
Like after you just spend maybe $20-$30 to get in the party, you want to come and sit down.
Yeah, that's
like my mentality of it. Like, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I you know, I love to party as much as I like to entertain, and you know, I would never do that. You know, if a DJ is just overall playing, that's a different. Like I'm told, totally playing. I mean, every DJ has had a bad day. Yeah, you know. We're human beings. Everybody has bad days. Human beings have bad days. Basketball players, actors, even though you don't see the actor's bad day. You know, if you're a performer, you're gonna have a bad day. It's just what it is. Comedians crash and burn sometime. You know, it happens. You know, but if a DJ is just overall playing, you gotta wonder why he was even there to begin with.
Exactly, it's a bigger conversation.
Yeah,
but it is what it is, people. I think the takeaway from that little segment is stop, take bamboo, and take Kevin's advice. Let's elevate the game. Now, we're gonna close out in a bit because we all got stuff to do, and we appreciate your time either way. We appreciate you for being here.
When I get to talking, it's just I'm very passionate. This is my life, man. This is my legacy. Yeah.
No, but I mean, we have to do a part 2 to this because there's a million more things we want to talk about, but it's time, right? But one thing we have to talk about being in the conversation of the virtual space of me and you know, linking with a bond and a business relationship, JKD being involved now. We have to talk about the morning show, right? And not only did you go on Twitch and make a name for yourself, but you built a community with that morning show. And as we're now opening up, this is the stage of our lives where, you know, 2 years ago we had the pandemic, but we're now slowly opening. I don't know about y'all in the States. Y'all been open. So I don't know about that. But us here in Canada, we're finally getting to, you know, fly again. Right. And one thing that happened recently, and again, this is part of my story. A part of that story was after now those 2 times where he raided me. And, you know, weekly the man, I haven't asked him for none of that. Right. But every Friday, almost religiously, this man will send me 300-400 people without me having to ask. And that's something I feel like I can never repay. Right. And I appreciate that. I want to thank you personally now that you're here. But to fast forward with that, again, this is not me deriding Kevin's career. Right. I ain't go to Kevin and say, yo, can you bring me to New York, bro? I've been always wanted to go. I tune in again a random day where I haven't tuned into his show for a while. Yeah. The first time he raided me, I hadn't tuned into his show for a few weeks. And then that one day, Bree called me. This time now, out of nowhere, I tune in back to his show. And I literally tune in. I remember it clearly, 9:28. I tuned in. At 9:30, he's like, I got a huge announcement to announce in a minute. So I'm like, that has to be God, bro. Right. I ain't just tune in for no reason. Right. He said the announcement at 9:31. I tuned in 3 minutes ago. Right. I said, you know, I do my normal, good morning, y'all. How you doing? The man said, yo, this morning show, Breakfast Fat Boat Ride, I'm bringing this to life. Right. The man seen my good morning post as he's making the announcement. Right. And simply said, yo, Busby, if you're coming to New York, you're booked. Just know that.
Divine timing, bro.
I was like, what the is this? I was shocked.
Yeah, man.
And not only that, but this is this podcast is a takeaway for people to understand the mentality of the greats in the business and people really doing their thing to become a great. My mentality was, I ain't stupid.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to go and do every single thing for free out there.
Right.
But I know the value of going to work with a Kevin Crown.
Right.
So him telling me that, one, I'm not expecting $1.
Right.
But two, I understand now that I have to pay my full way to go to New York.
Right.
You had to get a little change in your pocket, boy.
That's what I'm going to that part. You understand? But I go to New York now. You come with me.
Yeah.
My sister, Judgment CC.
Right.
And we go and just go with the mentality of let's make the most of this opportunity, but have fun with it.
Right.
I go to Kevin Crown's studio now, play on Twitch at his studio.
Right.
One thing the man said was, and he told my sister, he didn't even tell me, but he was just like, yo, I love that Buzz Knows Twitch. The amount of big DJs I have coming through here, I have to feel like I have to teach them every little thing.
Right.
But he knows what he's doing, and that enables me now to do some work I had to do.
Right.
And I don't have to be sitting here babysitting Buzz.
Right.
And I love that.
Right.
So I'm already in this space. He valued that part. But a couple days later now, I played on his boat ride.
Right.
Bro, the boat packed. He built such a community that people traveled from all walks of life to come to a boat ride in New York City.
I remember him saying
in November.
In November,
yeah. I remember saying somebody was driving from, was it Atlanta?
Bro, we saw Pajo Music. He from London.
Yeah.
He flew, what, 7-8 hours for that trip?
Crazy.
It's crazy what happened there. And like, I played.
He flew more than that. Hold on. He flew more than that because you can't really get a direct flight. So he flew from London to Barbados, stayed 2 days in Barbados, and from Barbados flew to New York because remember, London was locked down.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at that. And you know, well, big up Pajo, everybody that was on that cruise. You know, we were so happy to see all the faces. But one thing that Kevin did there that really stuck out to me, and it was a very empowering feeling, because I'm the type of guy, like, I'm gonna tiptoe because of my upcoming in Toronto. You know, certain men will be like, yeah, you have to do this,
right,
or you have to stay away from this era of music,
right,
etc.
Right.
And I asked Kevin, because that's what I do.
Right.
I don't want to step on toes, and especially, bro, we weren't expecting no Private Ryan to be there. Huh?
Yeah, I know.
I'm standing there shocked and scared, like this one. He's standing right beside me, Kevin Crown, Rigo Suave. I'm freaking out, but at the same time, again, I've prepared myself for this moment, where when I plugged in my laptop, everything was a go, and I'm not even studying them. Right. But it was just that jitters. But I say all of that to say I pulled Kevin aside, and I was like, yo, bro, what you want me to play? Like, you want me to stick to a certain thing because I know these guys are here. I don't want to step on toes. He just simply said, bro, be you. Right. Go up there and do you. I ain't going to tell you nothing. I'm not telling you how to play, what to play. I brought you here for you to be you. Right. And just him saying that put me in such a comfort zone that I felt like I did an amazing job on that boat ride. Yep. And I can't thank Kevin enough because, again, I went there not expecting $1. Right. He paid me better than people that I'm supposed to be getting paid that kind of money from here in the city. Yep. What he paid me is pretty much what I charge, but at the same time, you know how it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you go to the gig. Yeah, we didn't do so well, bro. we did. But the man paid me properly. Right. And not only that, the man gave me some exclusive headphones you can't even find just because I had a conversation with him on the phone the other day saying I'm looking for these headphones. Right.
Yeah, he asked me for them.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said, yo, can you find these headphones? And I looked, I said, they don't make these no more. Yeah. I was like, I actually had them, but I hate these headphones. But I hate them, but I don't have the gold ones. Right. I got the rose gold ones. Yeah. I got the box and everything. They just sitting there. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Some $300-$400 headphones that are like, you know, and I wanted them for flash. DJs, don't look at me a certain type of way. I ain't want those.
He's one of those guys
for quality. Not one of those. Yo, Mayu. But listen.
No, but that's what it is. That's what it is.
It wasn't that. Exactly. It was for the pictures and the glam. Or if I'm going to some upscale, I just wanted those as an option. But more times I'm using the Pioneer Studio quality headphones.
Yo, you got the wire for it? You got the wire? Do you ever got the wire?
For the monsters that you gave me, the headphones? Yeah. Nah, but I mean, that's an aux, no? You have to get a specific one? Yeah, I'll just go on Amazon for that.
It's just it's you can get it. It's not nothing, you can't find.
again, I just say all that to say thank you. And that opportunity, it opened my eyes a lot to this industry. And people, you need to understand that you can't just work for any and everybody, and don't let people stifle your creativity. You understand?
Everybody's not a soul out here, man.
Exactly.
Right.
And you know, I'm not gonna say that I thought you were one, but we would have never realized how humble, how welcoming, how much you were willing to extend your hand to help without me having to ask.
Right.
Like, I would have never saw those qualities in you without having worked along with you on these projects. You know, and it's huge.
I just, like I said, I don't want to say I was a different type of guy before I got stabbed.
Yeah.
But you know, it caused me to take a step back.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've been around actors, actresses, models, exotic cars. I've been around money. I've been around yachts. I've been around every artist you could think about.
Mm.
You know, I've been there. You know, and for one, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
A lot of it is smoke and mirrors. And I tell you the truth, man. The happiest I've ever been is just been inside my house with people that I really care about and people that really care about me.
Facts.
You know, I've done amazing things in my career, but at this point, I'm really, it's like when I say the champion master thing, they like, yo, oh, so he think he a master? I mean, I've been able to provide for my family. Yeah. I've been able to, you know, pretty much do whatever I want to do, live however I want to live, doing this, you know, when I didn't have to do it.
Right.
You know, I didn't have to. You know, I didn't have to. This is a choice. This is a leap of faith. And I did it without bad minding anybody. And I did it while getting bad mind the most, bro. Mm-hmm. Like it's crazy. But at the end of the day, all those things made me who I am. Yeah. If they would have gave it to me easily, maybe I wouldn't have worked as hard as my craft. If I was already there, maybe I wouldn't have went to the Scratch Academy. Mm. Maybe I wouldn't have learned how to play all these different types of genres. Maybe I wouldn't have went and say, yo, I gotta do good because nobody's rooting for me. So I'm gonna spend 12, 13, 14, 15 hours learning this dennery, learning all this stuff, and like really, really, really cataloging it and really understanding like, yo, Kevin, you know, you have to do this. It doesn't matter your name. You know, some people feel like just because their name, they don't have to do these things. And yo, as big as my name is, yo, people, I put in my work when it's come to this music, man. I definitely do.
And that's another takeaway. No matter how big you get, keep putting in that work.
And it shows.
Keep putting that work in.
You know, it's two quick things before we get out of here. One, as I was trying to bring up the morning show boat ride. So that was kind of the story.
Yeah,
right. Kevin and I linked up. But in terms of the morning show family, speak of that importance to you, because I know that's changed a lot of our lives, including mine. Explain like the morning, what you've curated and how important that morning show family is to you.
Well, before the whole virtual thing, you know, every now and again you would speak to people and people would tell you stories on what they were going through when they first heard you play. You know, and what it means, you know, for the things that I've said, or like I've been told the way you DJ, you're passionate about it. Because I used to get upset because when I used to play, there was a club that I played in the city. It was called Rebel, had a big stage. And every week in the front, there would be like 15 to 20 girls that wouldn't move. They would just look left to right. And as a DJ, you don't want people to just look at you like that because you feel like you're doing bad.
Yeah.
And it was a girl that said, Kevin, you look passionate to the point that she put it in terms like sexual terms. And I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah. She's like, that's why they're looking at you like that. I said, oh, okay. I understand what's going on. But these are conversations you would have every couple of years. It's not something you would hear every day. When I started the virtual space, every single day I was getting direct message after direct message from people saying, yo, either my girl had anxiety, and you know, I could tell after she listened to you, she was so at ease, thank you, or I had anxiety, or yo, you know, some people are home with their family. Like, Kevin, I live by myself. You know, it's just me and these four walls. When I turn off Twitch, I have nobody. Thank you. And then somebody in particular that you guys know very well came to me and was like, she tried to commit suicide.
Jesus.
And she said it didn't work. And she was in the hospital, and she discovered my SoundCloud. And then after she discovered my SoundCloud, she found me on Twitch.
Wow.
And she said the things that I've said and the way I am, it changed her life. And I have so many different stories because I do share a lot of my experiences on Twitch. You know, I just don't go up there and play music. I share a lot of what was going on in my head. It could be funny. It could be serious. It could be controversial. It could be just something I'm pissed off about. It could be something somebody said in the chat I feel like I got to address. But just that connection and the feeling that you matter. When the DJs feel like, yo, you matter, you make a difference. Like, it's not just about just being on the ones and twos. You know, when it feels like, yo, you making a difference in people's lives,
Right.
it's a different type of responsibility you have.
Yeah.
You know, you know, me not doing a morning show, when somebody felt like they wanted to commit suicide but no longer wants to do that, or we are changing people's, like, there was a nurse. She said, Kevin, every day I was going to the hospital and seeing people die, and it was weighing down on me. And then I would catch your lives, and it came to a point where I switched my work schedule so I could just stay up and watch your live and then go to work after. So I started my work after your show just because you made it that easier for me to deal with what was going on. It was like, yo, like the morning show family, you know, they've really shown me my worth. A lot of, I always say that I'm really not gonna get my flowers till I die.
None of us are, man.
But I get them, man. I get the appreciation, and I get the flowers, and I'm not doing it for the flowers, but you know, you know, it's crazy when you see the work you put in. You know, like you find a song that you like and you put it out in the world, and you bust the song, and you don't get the credit for it. You know, that has happened to me. Or you get the credit, but you get like a half credit, like, yeah, Kevin, you did it, but he did it too, so it just wasn't you. And in reality, yo, it was you. And if it wasn't for me, then nothing would have happened. You know, it gets kind of frustrating. I feel the love. You know, I get the people that tell me, even yourself, Busby, you know, you've told me, and even what you did with the you know, the dub plate, you know, you did a custom dub plate for me, you know, and you wrote it for the morning show. And it's just like looking at that boat ride, that is a moment in time. It wasn't, you know, it was like what, 400 people, between 330, whatever, between 300 and 400 people it was. But it was 100% because of Twitch.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, we had the emotes. We would play music that do not play because people do not know the music. I remember when you played the Sun Kiss.
Yeah.
Private Ryan was right there filming you play.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because nobody was playing that rhythm.
Right.
But everybody was partying to that shit on the boat ride. And I'm like, yo, this is exactly what I wanted. If I was more of an emotional guy, I probably would have cried on the boat, but I didn't, I was just like, wow.
I was in awe how like much of a family vibe that there was.
Yeah.
And we in a place where it's all walks of life coming to New York where we're not from.
Right.
But it was like everybody knew each other, and it was that family vibe is bigger than the numbers that you could bring out.
Yeah, I would rather have those 400 people instead of 1,000 strangers.
Exactly.
You know, as a DJ, as a, you know, somebody who cares about the culture, as a promoter, you know, I care more about that than the actual dollars. I like the dollars, but you know, it's not just about the dollars for me, as you can see.
Facts.
You know,
all right, bro. Well, within the interest of time, we got to cut it short. I don't know, Jake, if there's any last question that you might have.
No, I just want to say much respect for the pizza.
Yeah.
Listen, my mother
gave us white oak and pizza when we reached the studio. Huh? Big up yourself.
my mother raised me that anybody who guest in your house, you had to offer them something. Yeah. You cannot just be in my space and I don't see if they want something to eat or they want something to drink. You know, that's just the way my mother raised me. Yeah. And you know, that's just the way. And you guys are coming from far, man. You guys are coming from another country. So, you know, we in New York, we could be a certain type of way, but we could be very, very, very nice to the people that deserve it. And you guys more than deserve it. I just want to say thank you, you know, for just being dope people, because you know, you're not the only person I've rated. You know, you're not the only person that, you know, I've told the Crown Army you should follow, but you're probably one that has shown the most gratitude. I've noticed that something about you. You're very appreciative, bro. Yeah. You know, things that I don't even think twice about. You know, I've seen you post on Instagram, and me, like I said, I don't do things. I don't be nice to people to post it later. Yeah. You know, I don't do that. I don't do that. It's just, that's just the right thing to do. You know, so you rarely see me post anything that I've done for somebody on the gram. Yeah. You know, but and then I'll see you post it. I'm like, shit, I did that. And that's, you know, you put it like that. It's like, yo, you know, you're very appreciative, and you're at a place where, you know, it's just, I want to see Buzz be on that big stage where he's just performing. And he's just like, you know, and you know, from they call your name, just like on the boat, I called your name, everybody's like, ah!
I was shocked.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't get that kind of love at home.
You know, it's, you know, I'm not gonna say I get that every time, but you know, when they say they call your name and you're like, that gives you the confidence, like,
Facts.
Like, yeah, you know, every artist went through that, where they would call their name and people would just look, and then they like, oh my God, it is, you know. So it's good. I just want to thank you guys, JKD. Thank you for everything that you've done. I really appreciate it. Yeah, some things you had to do for me still, but
I know. We'll get it done.
So in terms of what they're talking about, JKD is doing some graphic work for Kevin Crown. So
yo, JKD has done some of the best graphics my channel has ever seen, man. And I you know, as much as I like to think I have one of the best looking shows. Yeah. You know, I think it's just a testament to the vibe we all have, because it's just not me. Yeah. You know,
what you said there is the perfect thing to say for the ending here. Now, it's not a question. Again, we speak on the side, so you tell me some analogies and certain different things that have gravitated towards me, and I look at stuff in a different perspective. It's for you to elaborate on something you've told me, and that's your analogy of Marvel.
Oh.
And this is how I want to end the podcast, because I thought it was so powerful what you said about that.
All right. So there's guys that operate where they want to be the man, right? They want to stick out, so they surround themselves with lames. You know, they surround themselves. There's like if I was to start a crew, but I would just start a crew with, all right, he's good at this, but he can't touch me here. And he's good at this, he can't touch me here. So you always stand out. It's sort of like the girl who walks around with ugly girls. So she always looks best in the selfie. Right. I'm not interested in that. You know, I want to be the Avengers. You know what I mean? I want to be the Avengers. I want to be, you know, the Avengers. Captain America comes out with a movie. Crazy. Then Hulk, crazy. Thor, crazy. Spider-Man, crazy. Black Widow, crazy. It doesn't matter. Anybody on their own can hold it down. But you see, when the Avengers come together, it's a whole different type of energy, and everybody holds it on. I want to be around the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Steel sharpens steel. You know, if you just surround yourself with lames, you're always going to be the man. And you ain't got to do, you always gonna look. It's like a dude who just, you know, he's the only one that dresses clean. Everybody else don't know how to dress, don't know how to talk. You know, you always gonna stick out. Yep. You know, you if you want to be, you know, the diamond in the rough, that's cool. Be the diamond in the rough. I want to be the jewelry store. Right.
And there's no growing when you're around lames. Nah,
that's what I said. Steel sharpens steel. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So I see the Buzz B playing. Oh shit, this Buzz B playing that? Right. Nah, boy, I have to go and I have to play. I have to find some. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's just what it is, and it's not a competition. It's you know, you gotta keep up.
You should never be the smartest one in the room, and it's as simple as that. You gotta keep elevating. And another powerful thing, as we say goodbye, that you said in this podcast was, even to the stature that you are right now, you are still a student of the game. And you're still constantly learning and improving your craft, developing everything. And that's something our kids that are coming up in the industry need to see.
Right.
I wish I could practice. I don't practice. Yeah. I don't practice. I just whatever. A lot of times when you see me doing creative things on the on Twitch, it's not practice. It's, oh shit, I get an idea, and I'm like, yo, hold up, people. Let me see if I could try this. And I try, I'm like, oh my God, this should work, but it's never because I don't have time to practice. Yeah. So I wish I had time to just like meds, but for me to just start playing music without an audience in my heart, I might as well just go live and play it for people. I always think like that. Right. You know, I wish I could. There was a time where I would dead ass just. I don't know if you guys know what a chirp is. That's a scratch. Yeah. Right, scratch. It's an open fader, so the fader starts open and you close it. Right. I would literally just chirp for an hour till my forearms and everything started hurting just to get it down. You know, I don't have that luxury of time anymore. Yeah. But I wish I did. You know, and I'm always looking to be better. You know, I one of my goals is to compete in Red Bull one day.
Wow, nice.
One of my goals is to compete in Red Bull one day. I just need to have that time to do it.
All right, my brother, we appreciate you so much for this.
Thank you, man.
You are, once again, this is a legendary interview, but not only that, when down the road you see this thing start to blow up, you could say you were the first person that we interviewed on the People's Podcast. So we want to thank you for your time, bro. Thank you for everything you've done for both of us.
I was the first one, you know. That was me. I was the first.
We appreciate it, man. It was an amazing interview. There was so many takeaways from this.
You guys are good, man. You guys are definitely good, man. I would sometimes I think, I should move to Toronto, but it's too cold.
Yeah, facts. But you live in New York. Is it better?
Nah, Canada, different type of cold, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's different. New York cold.
Yeah.
Canada's cold.
I think there's Canada and then there's Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal's colder.
They're like scary cold.
Yeah. I guess I'm comparing y'all to them because Montreal.
It's bad, but I mean, you have a good living situation, you'll be all right. Yeah. But we'll see you soon, and that too. Yeah, I mean, sooner than later, we might let the cat out the bag, but you might just see Kevin Crown on a Busby event very soon, people. You're just going to leave it right there. We're going to say nothing more than that.
Facts, man. Morning show 9 a.m. to 12 noon. The biggest, the baddest, the maddest, the gladdest, the craziest thing on Twitch. The anniversary, 2-year anniversary, March the 15th. I would love is if Busby and JKD did a set on the channel. You know, we're gonna do a all day stream, and we're just gonna bring different people on the channel.
That's already in my calendar. Well, now he's asking you. We have it on tape, so you're part of that, huh?
I'll do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the pretty much how we doing it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so we're gonna do that on the channel, and you know, we're gonna try to make it epic, man. My goal, you know, I'm putting it out there. I'm trying to break the 1,000 mark on Twitch. I don't think any Caribbean DJ has done that yet.
Wicked.
I'm trying to break the 1,000. You know, that's my goal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. You know, I don't think it's anything wrong with putting something like that out there. I think some people are too proud, but I want to put it out there. I'm trying to break the 1,000 mark. So we're gonna try to do what we gotta do to make that happen.
You know, we're on board for that. We'll help as much as we can.
I think, honestly, if all the DJs hosted, and all the DJs, I don't want to tell a DJ not to stream.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if all the DJs, and I'm gonna reach out to every DJ I know on Twitch, and I'm gonna tell them, listen, March the 15th, this is what's going on, and see what can be done.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not, but I would like to be the first one to get to the 1,000 mark. That's pretty much my goal. And just to, you know, just have another epic stream. I think we've had so many epic moments.
Oh, you come to Fed. Sorry.
We come to
It's not
Fed.
COVID. It's not COVID.
Yeah, I mean, the Valentine's Day show was crazy.
That was epic.
That's a little morning show humor. So the morning show family, you're gonna know what we talk about. Otherwise, you gotta tune in.
I feel like I you know, if I knew these things would happen, I feel like I should make them subscriber only.
Yeah.
But I do not have no idea what's nothing.
Yeah.
That never have I ever. And I did, it was just like, Kevin, it's Valentine's Day. You're gonna play some R&B and you're gonna dress up.
Right.
And then my mind just start bubbling, and it's just like, holy
You're crazy sometimes. 'Cause there was one time in your show where you had to turn around and you would just laugh into yourself for like a good 5 minutes. Like, you crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And the craziest part is that's another reason why he took a liking to who I am as a DJ. When he saw the film, he's like, yo, I like this.
Y'all didn't know. I was like, he don't even know how much of up my alley this is. Like, and people, I'm like, I could just play music, but it gets crazy.
It's boring,
I started laughing because I think the Valentine's Day, I pushed it right to the limits of Twitch. I pushed it right to the limits, and I just had to turn around and I just started laughing.
Yeah, man.
It's when people are like, I want to log off, but I can't.
Yeah. You know, when people were trying to work and do that at the same time, but they said, no, work's not happening today.
It was crazy, man.
So anyway, man, let them know where they can follow you besides Twitch in the morning show. Where can they find you on
Kevin Crown
platforms?
Music is everything. Just type in Kevin Crown Music. You'll find me on the Facebook, on the Instagram. I'm not too Facebook savvy. Facebook just got too much going on with it.
Yep. Same.
So yeah. Instagram, definitely Kevin Crown Music. Twitch, Kevin Crown Music. SoundCloud, Kevin Crown Music is pretty much, one shot deal for me. And for bookings, book kevincrown@gmail.com. Hopefully we'll get to do this and sit down in real life. It's always good to talk and put a human side to what we are, because I'm pretty sure people don't understand. If Busby's on for 4 hours, he's standing in one place for 4 hours. Just understand the level of mental and physical work it takes to do that.
There's not enough appreciation for it, man.
Yeah, it's not. I could go on and on. I don't want to say it's not enough, but
I feel like they think we're just machines.
They definitely think we're
Yeah.
machines. They definitely think we could they definitely think we don't have any kind of feelings, you know, and that's why people say, okay, why do you answer certain people in the chat? I said I answer people so they know they can't just say whatever they want.
Yeah.
You teach
without
people
getting
how to
checked.
treat you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you let shit pass,
Yeah,
and then people feel like, yo, I could just say whatever I want.
exactly.
No, I'm gonna put you in check.
Yeah,
Right.
facts.
That's me.
Love
But
it,
yeah,
bro.
man, that's it, man.
This is for the people, and this is the People's Podcast. We thank you so much for your time and energy as always. And we got to do a part 2 very soon. We'll be linking up in person. And as I said, yeah, we'll see a Kevin Crown on a Busby event very soon here in Toronto.
Yeah, man.
All right, bro. We appreciate you, and we'll see you guys next time on the People's Podcast.
Peace.